We all know who Ben Simmons is. He's a 6'10 point guard who averaged roughly 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists on 56% shooting this past season. Now there's a portion of people who might already be surprised at that stat line alone, because the majority of the league tends to overlook or hate on this guy a lot. There was a lot of criticism given towards the Sixers for giving him a max contract extension just a couple of months ago. And why is that, you ask? Well, you probably didn't ask. We know. His 3-point shooting. Now this isn't just some video I concocted because Ben Simmons finally hit a 3, nor do I ever expect him to be some sort of great 3-point shooter. It's everything else he does that impresses me, like literally everything else. Before we get into the full-on basketball breakdown, we should mention one very important aspect of Ben's game that has been fully in check, and that's his health. After missing his whole first season due to injury, he's only missed 4 total games out of 2 full NBA seasons, which is incredible to see with how many young stars get plagued by injuries nowadays, one being his teammate Joel Embiid. Alright, now into the basketball. Ben Simmons' versatility even without a 3-point shot is top-notch in this league. In a league where MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo exists, you can argue or maybe even just simply state that Simmons is the most versatile player in the league. That's because although a guy like Antetokounmpo is a never-before-seen 6'11" lengthy powerhouse, Simmons is possibly even more of a rare breed. He's 6'10" and is listed as a point guard. Let's just stop there for a second. Ben Simmons is a legitimate point guard worthy player, athletically gifted enough at 6'10" to where he could clamp up players who are 6'3" and players who are 6'9". He has enough of a passing gift and he's agile enough to be a successful 6'10" point guard who ranks top 10 in assists. The only 2 players in the league to stand over 6'4" and rank top 10 in assists were LeBron James and Ben Simmons last season. Matter of fact, the only players in NBA history who have ever been 6'10" and averaged over 8 assists in a season were Ben Simmons and Wilt Chamberlain. If we make that list a little bit more wide by bringing it down to 6'8", you add in LeBron James and Magic Johnson, and that's it. That's the whole list. He's quick enough laterally to keep up with basically anybody and has the strength of a 6'10" big man. He could utilize his guard-like quickness and big man-like strength to exploit matchups with guards, forwards, and bigs, and in the process not let anybody exploit him. Just think about how incredible what I just said is, and watch some of these highlights you're seeing on the screen closely. Just watch how quick his burst of speed to the basket can be against both bigs and guards. Watch how ferocious he can finish around the basket on any size player. Watch how much of a man amongst boys he can be on multiple occasions in just his 2nd year in the league. And lastly, on top of all of that, watch the high IQ passing plays, passing vision that just based off his first 2 seasons seemingly ranks him among the greatest passers that we've ever seen. Now Ben Simmons is still such an interesting case because of course, as we know, not everybody believes in him. Some people don't believe in him at all due to his lack of a jump shot in the year 2019. But to be honest, even with that in your mind, I don't understand how you couldn't be a believer based off the grown man moves we've seen both physically and mentally in just his first career years. He definitely needs to be more aggressive, but when you look at how physically capable he is of dominating, he'd be an idiot to not start consistently imposing his will sooner than later, and his on-court IQ definitely tells us he's not an idiot. At the same time, the blame can't all go on Ben's mental state, it's also on the state of his team. Joel Embiid is an all-NBA ball-dominant big man who primarily works in the post and only shoots 30% from downtown himself. That doesn't necessarily cater to the freak of nature at point guard who is a primary slasher, cannot shoot a 3, and is a very willing passer that lets Embiid work more often than not. Simmons' high IQ just keeps him in check from always attacking what tends to be a very crowded paint in Philadelphia's offense. And well, the reason why you haven't heard me guarantee anything with Ben Simmons being a top player this upcoming season is for that exact reason. I just don't see that Philly team catering to him enough. I fully believe in Simmons being a franchise player, and a really good one at that, but he would need to be treated as one first, and well, Philly is in a weird situation where they still may be good enough to make and even win the finals with Simmons not being catered to just because he's that good. But I feel like if this guy does eventually get catered to in his career, from whatever team that is, he will be one of the greatest players that the NBA has ever seen. Thank you for watching. You can do all that stuff like and subscribe if you care about my channel at all, and I'm out. Cut.